Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 14 of Maker's Mic, a music makers podcast presented by LR Bags. Our guest this episode is Nashville singer-songwriter Erin Rae. A little over a year ago, Erin signed a deal with Single Lock Records, the Florence, Alabama-based label run by John Paul White, Ben Tanner, and Will Trapp. Erin was kind enough to stop by and talk to me about her latest album, Putting on Airs. What's the story behind your tattoo there?
This one?
Yeah. How many do you have? You have another one there?
4, I guess, because the song lyric, my dad's handwriting.
Oh, cool.
And then I just liked that, and I wanted a tattoo. And
That's
then
pretty.
I have a dumb one from when I was 18 that's
You have
it's
a
like
tramp
a dandelion.
stamp?
No, not a
Oh,
tramp
okay.
stamp. Fortunately, it could be way worse. But you know, those like for a while Target had like a bunch of wall decals, like everything had a print of like a dandelion and then little things flowing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's that.
Cool.
Could be worse, but this one is like
Those helicopters.
yeah, just kind of nostalgic, like me and my sister.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cute.
Yeah,
What
thanks.
are those things called? Do you know?
I think their scientific name are samsaras.
Okay. I always just called them helicopters.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're maple seed leaves. So
Okay.
yeah.
You have a sister?
Yes. I have
Is
a
that
little
your only
sister.
sibling?
We grew up together. I have an older half brother.
Okay.
He's 8 years older than me, and he lives here now. And, but yeah, Carol Jane is my little sister. She's 3.5 years younger.
Oh.
She's about to have a baby in
Oh,
August.
cool.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. So very excited.
Auntie Erin Rae.
First
huh?
time auntie. Yep.
Yeah.
Auntie.
Oh, it's the best.
I saw her little face in the 3D ultrasound.
Yes.
That's crazy.
I'll show you a picture later. It's insane how accurate those things are.
Yeah,
Because I
like
have
compare.
before and after pictures. It's amazing.
Whoa.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about growing up. You grew up right outside of Memphis, kind of, is that right?
Yeah, I was born in Memphis. That's where my parents met. And then shortly after that, we moved to Jackson, Tennessee when I was about a year old.
Okay.
And we were there for 10 years. And that's kind of where like the first half of childhood or whatever, I guess my like preteen, like we lived there till I was 11.
Okay.
Yeah, so my parents played music around there. My parents always worked like normal jobs, day jobs, and
Yeah.
but my dad and my mom would sing together growing up, and I don't know, they're both just great at finding creative friends and stuff wherever we were. So there's a family that had a big farmhouse on a bunch of property south of Jackson in Bemis, Tennessee. They did a house show series called like Blue Angel House Shows, I think is what it was called. But
Was this like a weekly thing or?
it was, yeah, I think it was monthly.
Okay.
So not all of them, but a few of them we were able to go with my parents. Like saw like Slade Cleaves and Kate Campbell. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, so we moved up here in 2001 and started middle school and grew up the rest of the way in Bellevue. Yeah, middle school and high school, and same thing. Kind of parents found creative friends and had picking parties and stuff
Yeah.
for holidays.
So you grew up in a musical
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing
Um,
and singing?
I sang a little bit here and there growing up, and always to myself. I would make up songs on my little Fisher Price recorder, make
Yeah.
up stories and songs my sister and I
Do you still have those?
somewhere. I hope somewhere. But we like she and I my parents listened to NPR nonstop, so we like memorized the just everything about it. You know, this is NPR.
Yeah.
And so we would make like little pretend news shows and then all that kind of stuff. But I got my first guitar for graduation. I turned 18 and graduated high school the same week. So instead of like a computer or something, my dad picked out a Martin guitar for me.
Oh, nice. Is that the guitar that you still?
That's like my guitar that I like love.
You keep it at home safe and sound.
Yeah.
And take it on the road.
And it's like super durable. And I think that's kind of why you picked it out. It's one of the ones with the laminate sort of siding.
Yeah.
And like a soft top, not, it's like unfinished.
Right. Yeah.
But they stay in tune super well. And yeah, it's just lasted so long. And, but my dad recently also gifted me his Martin, which is the one that I brought last time. But yeah, so to answer your question, keep talking. I guess I started writing, trying to play guitar like that fall when I turned 18 and then started writing songs shortly after that.
Did you go to college?
I went for a semester, 2008, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just went because my best friend went. We were roommates, and then
was it here in town or?
I went to Tennessee Tech.
Okay.
In Cookeville.
Yeah.
But kind of gravitated towards the kids playing. There was a couple of guys that played music on the stoop, like Bob Dylan and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was still listening to Top 40 a lot.
Yeah.
So I was like, I do know one Bob Dylan song amidst like my Carrie Underwood covers, but yeah. So I came back that winter for Christmas break, and my half brother moved to town, and he took me to. He's a hip hop artist, and he took me to this open mic at Cafe Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I basically just kind of moved in there once a week. Like every Thursday night, it was just like such an eclectic mix of people, And that was the first place.
That's weird. We've probably run into each other in the past. Yeah.
But like it was like, this would have been like 2009 to 2011, probably. Yeah. There was a friend of mine, a guy I didn't know super well at the time, but we had gone to high school together, and I'd seen him play a song like years before, but he was there the first night. It was him and his brother. This guy Joshua Odine, he does like, it's hip hop, and just he like does the beat on the guitar.
Yeah.
With his like wrist.
Yeah.
While he's playing, and he just uses the coolest chords and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was like super cool, magical, like experience. That whole,
I've never seen anything like this before.
And then there's this like crazy rock and roll kid who is like saying like a sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Basically, that's like what the song was, And and then like, folky, quiet people like me, and just, but we all hung out together. There was like a fiddle player. We all hung out till 3 in the morning.
Were you nervous or like?
I think
like kind of play on those first shows, or did it feel like I'm here with friends and it's
it quickly kind of felt comfortable. And I think what was really cool is it was such a positive environment, and Joshua and his brother, since we all like recognize each other from high school, they were kind of like, oh no, he's always been very encouraging. Like, I think all of that positivity in that environment is what kind of
sort of gave you the confidence.
Because I hadn't even written a song the first open mic. I like sang an a cappella song, and they were like, I don't know, they were just being boys and being like, oh, you're so good, blah blah, like all this stuff. And I was like, oh cool, like I'm gonna be a musician now. And so it was just like this I don't know, it was like I feel like that loop of positivity, that like Cafe Coco fam kind of provided a cushion from like the reality of how long it would take to turn this into a career.
Yeah.
Because there is a lack of reality going on in my head. Like I definitely had like a little, just very optimistic. And I had parents that were supportive of me and also they're like, sure.
They're musicians.
Yeah. They're like, sure, quit.
But you were
quit
like,
school.
I'm on my way.
Right. I really was a little bit with some blind optimism.
You've been at it for a while. I've heard your name for years before we actually met.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're kind of like Nashville's Darling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't know if does that seem fair? Like everyone loves you and everyone wants you to be on their album and like sing with them and I mean
That's really nice.
Like,
thank you.
Recently, yeah, I mean you've even not so recently, but just over the past few years, you've worked with some incredible artists who have gone on to, make big names for themselves. Margo, Price, and Josh Headley, and
so many friends.
Yeah, and now, I mean, we'll get to it later.
Yeah,
but I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about you being on Single Lock. Like, I just think it's such a good fit. And
thank you. Yeah, I feel the same. I'm like, it's kind of been wild to, like, for a while there was like, oh, how long have you been playing? It's like, oh, 3 or 4 years. And then all of a sudden now it's 10 years.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I'm not like, I don't know. Yeah, it kind of like blew by, but, and I think just being from here, and that comfortability of kind of like knowing my way around town, but then also like just experimenting in different circles, and you just find different creative people. I've met so many people, and just over the years, and we're all at different like levels of growth in our career.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Like, I don't know, like when Andrew Combs was, when he released Worried Man, I had just put out an EP, and Andrew came to the EP release, and I was like, oh, that's so nice that he came. Like, I could not believe that, just because he was like already doing his thing, and kind of like in a circle of people doing it. And I was still kind of, I had a circle of people, but I was still sort of finding my way and whatever. And so when he reached out and asked if I would sing harmonies at Grimey's, I was just like, starstruck a little bit. Yeah. And then this is like getting off on a tangent, but the first time that I went to go rehearse with him for that thing, I was like really nervous, and I was like 21, I think, just awkward gal. And I walked into him and Spencer Cullum were living together, and I walked into their house, and he was like, hey, do you want any tea or anything, whatever? So he steps into the kitchen to get me something to drink, and I took 3 steps, and this giant glass jar of change like rattled off the shelf, like, I don't know, it was just like an older house, and shattered on the floor, and just like a couple $100 worth of change went everywhere. And it took me a couple of years. I still think I'm a little traumatized from that. Like, it took me a long time to be like, what's up, Andrew? I can be cool now. Oh, my God.
First impressions, right?
Yeah, he, like, popped his head around. He was like, hey, you all right?
You okay? Yeah.
It's like, I wanted to just die.
Yeah.
But anyways.
But of course he didn't care.
He didn't care, yeah. But he was just so chill, he's just a chill dude. No, it's just so high strung. Anyways.
Tell me about some of the other people that you've collaborated with that you like. Kale Tyson, and I know you guys are good friends.
Got some videos from back in the day.
Molly Pardon.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I met Kale. Well, I met Kelsey Walden that same season that I got to sing with Andrew and did that tour. And
Kentucky Girl.
Yeah. And we've been friends now for 6 years, and she is one of like 3 of my closest friends. Like,
yeah,
it's been.
I really like her. I haven't met her,
Yeah.
We need to make that happen.
Yes.
Introduce me.
Okay. I gladly will.
Yeah.
She's just such a wise person. Her like wisdom and view on life and her combined with like her music, and I've just learned a lot from being friends and seeing how she, you know, how her career is developing. And anyway, so I met her at the 5 Spot. She was doing a trio with Vicky Vaughn and Rachel Bayman from 10 String Symphony, who now has her own project out. But they were doing a trio band, and Johnny Appleseed was playing that night, which is like Andrew Hunt, who now plays in Station Wagon. And but I met Kelsey, and she was friends with like Kale, and this whole crew of people that had gone to Belmont. But yeah, so Kale had me sing in one of his videos for like early music videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we toured in the UK. We were on the same Americana label in the UK called Clubhouse.
Okay.
For the last records that we put out. But yeah. And yeah, and
Margo?
And Margo, I kind of can't even remember how we initially started getting to play together. I don't know if it was, I think maybe just the video for Since You Put Me Down that Josh was doing. We had all just kind of, just like the 5 Spot hang.
Right.
Got to know everybody, and yeah, I can't even remember like how that kind of transpired, but that was just before they were getting ready to make the record. I think they had just sold their car in Pond of the Ring. It was like around that time that I kind of was getting to know them. So we did the video, and then we played, what did we play? We played, what's the, Oktoberfest in Germantown.
Yeah.
We played that event and a few other things, and then shortly after that they went and made the record.
Yeah.
And the video like went up, and everything kind of took off from there.
Point being, you've worked with like everyone in right?
Yes. And Molly Parton is amazing. I feel like she's another gal that works so hard singing with other people all the time. And
yeah, absolutely.
And she and I met at a house show in Atlanta on that tour with John David. I met everybody around that time.
Yeah.
And then she moved up here a year and a half later, and started singing with me for a little while. And
and Anderson East. Right?
Oh yeah, Anderson
and the
East.
Murray brothers.
Yes, yeah. Mike Rennie, when he produced Soon Enough, which was my debut record. Came out in 2015. But so Mike produced it and was like, "Erin, you need to make a record. You need to make a record." And I was like, "I don't know. I don't have any money." And he was like, "You need to make a record. Yeah. Come on, we'll do it. We'll figure it out.
We'll get the friends together.
Yeah,
make it happen.
Yeah, and he's good friends with those guys, and Anderson and the Murray brothers. They all, I don't know if they still live there, but they
Grandview house.
Yeah, the Farmland Studio.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I knew the people that lived in that house before them.
Nice.
And they were,
studio
cut from the same
cloth,
right?
Yeah.
And then that's actually how I met Anderson and John and Scotty.
Yeah.
Well, I'd met them before they took over the house, but just like a couple of times.
Yeah.
Out at bars.
Yes.
And then when my friend Mark and David and Floor moved out of the house and they moved in, I don't know. I think I was there helping on moving day, and it was like happening. Yeah. Like as my friends were moving out, they were moving in, and we were just all like helping each other.
That's really nice.
Yeah. And really got to know them.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
I know. I do too. They're so much fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, Anderson, I didn't know him. I knew who he was, but I didn't really know him. And he ended up engineering that because he worked out of that studio.
Yeah.
Him and Evan Hutchings. And so he engineered it and Mike produced, and that's kind of how we got to know each other. And he had also just...
Who played on that record?
It was the Meanwhiles, which were Graham Beckler, incredible drummer. He produced like our first EP, the Crazy Talk EP.
Yeah.
And his now wife, Corey Beckler, and she sang on it, her and Molly. And Mark Sloan.
Yeah.
Incredible picker and player. And
he's been in a couple of our video sessions.
He was in that video with Margo for Since You Put Me Down too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's amazing. And then who else? Kevin Whitsett played bass.
Yeah.
He played on the first thing too.
He was in something I shot too.
Yeah.
I can't remember what, but
yeah, everybody is like everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
And I was really lucky to kind of stumble into meeting all those folks. And but yeah, that was a fun couple days. We just tracked it all live because it was more about...
Did you have the songs kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because basically we had been playing since the EP. We had just been playing those songs because most of those people played on the EP. So we had just been playing those songs, and then when I'd come up with new ones, then we'd figure those out.
Yeah.
I really did want to capture what we were doing, you know, because I kind of was also feeling the pull to like try some other sounds and stuff, and like, I don't know, just kind of grow a little more, whatever that looked like.
Challenge yourself.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, this has been really important to me, and I don't know. So that was kind of the thinking behind that.
Yeah. We finally met last year.
Yeah.
During Americana Fest.
Yes.
I think you might have been working on putting on airs, or...
Yeah, I think it was...
Where were you in the process of that?
And it was done, and we were trying to... Basically, we were working to kind of get the team together around it, and I had just met the Single Lock guys in August that year. The Colonel and I...
Yeah.
And Coco Riley, we were doing a fall tour to go up to Wisconsin.
Okay.
Play at Mile of Music and Tall Tales Fest, and a couple other... We did like a run around that.
Yeah. And
the last show was at the 116 East Mobile, which is Single Lock's venue in Florence.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. But Colonel's my favorite band. So, and he had done some touring with John Paul and them, and so basically the whole Single Lock crew came out. He's been friends with those guys for a long time.
Yeah.
And everybody was in town that night. I think they enjoyed the show. And then we had the record done, so Colonel just passed it along to John Paul and Ben Tanner and Reed Watson, and they were all like excited about it. Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was like a really cool night. So around the time that I met you was when we were kind of in talks.
And I remember you were doing some pretty heavy soul searching.
Yes. Yeah, I was up at that.
Do you want to share about that? You don't have to.
I can. I went up
in Bowling Green?
In Bowling, outside of,
Or close, yeah.
I went up to this place called The Bridge, and it was like a group therapy sort of thing. It was a really magical place. It's on like 94 acres or something, like 30 minutes outside of Bowling Green in the country.
Yeah.
And, woods surrounding everybody. There's like a cabin, a couple of cabins, and then like a main lodge. And I was going to go for 2 weeks and try to just like look at some stuff and address some things from growing up that were still like kind of, which were one of those things being the motivation for the song Bad Mind that's on the new record.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of wanting to like look at all of that and just, spend some time trying to heal some patterns of behavior. It's like really the theme of the whole record is kind of like why I went up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up staying there for 2 months instead of 2 weeks. And not like, I don't know, it sounds dramatic, you know what I mean? And it feels that way in hindsight. I'm like, damn, that was a long damn time that I was gone, you know?
Right. And you weren't like connected to the world.
Yeah.
Right?
I could check email for work stuff.
Uh-huh.
And like Americana Fest was in the middle of that.
Yeah.
So I came down for like 24 hours.
Wow. I can't believe we were able to borrow some of that time.
Well, it was
from
important.
You.
I wanted to come do this. It was important to me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
What does putting on airs mean? What is that saying?
Putting on airs kind of means like you're parading, or to me, it means like parading is something that you're not.
Okay. Yeah.
Is what I think it means. Or like,
if you think it means that, then that's what it means.
Yeah.
It's like your album. It can mean whatever you want it to mean.
Yeah. Like putting on airs, like walking around with like, I'm better. Normally I think it means like acting as if you're better than, or like having your nose in the air kind of thing.
Sure.
And parading as if I'm something I'm not is kind of what it meant to me. And then what that translates to for the record is just sort of leading people on in relationships and not really being super connected to myself to even know, just to be frank, like, kind of having this idea of what a relationship would be and then not really being able to, I don't know, just show up as a whole person, but still wanting love and attention from another person,
Mm-hmm.
And not being fully honest all the time about how I was actually feeling. And so that's created a lot of pain for me and for other people in my life.
Yeah.
And that's like, that song, the title track, is basically just calling myself out. I wrote that in an attempt to like cut the bullshit and be like, this is like, you have to get clear on this.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of that, a lot of it stemmed from just the anxiety of like the bad mind stuff and wanting to not be gay my whole life growing up, and also thinking that I probably was, but really trying my damnedest to shift, like to
fight it.
Yeah. Which is, and that's kind of what Bad Mind is about too, is just like trying to understand where that anxiety comes from, because with the family my family's so loving. Like, so many of our friends are gay. We went to like a Unitarian church
they would
growing
be
up.
Totally accepting of it.
And I think what I'm kind of realizing now, it's like I needed to write this record to propel me forward and change what I was doing,
Yeah.
And so that's why I went to the Bridge. Yeah.
What a personal album for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I've just like laid it all out there this clearly
like this
before, but so thanks for listening.
You're doing a good job.
Thanks.
This is going to be made public to the world.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it helps.
We don't have a huge following.
Yeah, but hopefully, it's like that's kind of like the reason behind. It's like, well, the reason for releasing it, and like, I mean, hopefully not very many people have to like
dive too deep
and and figure this or like, I don't know, it sucks, but also maybe it helps. I don't know. I'm like, what's the point of just telling all my
Well,
business
I
like
mean,
this.
really, the best songs and the best albums come from that sort of, you know, like diving deep into yourself and exposing something to the world that is really hard for the artist to put out there.
And hopefully, it doesn't maybe feel as heavy when you're just listening.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. No.
And I think that's kind of I love the production on the album.
There's so many
much.
other factors when listening to an album,
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting for me to understand. But I'm also excited to be in a space of like not thinking about myself so much all the time, which is cool.
Yeah.
A
little more laid back about it,
chill,
and comfortable.
I'm like, I'm just. It's kind of like I get this perspective now. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's this. I found the photo I wanted to show you. Here, I'm gonna zoom in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, at the 116. When did y'all go down there?
We were down there 3 weeks ago, maybe, and we just fell in love with that town. It's so cool down there. And I saw the alleyway with all the graffiti, and I just wanted to go look closer at it. And I was looking, I was like, man, some of this stuff's really cool. And then I looked up and saw the sign, and I was like, Single Lock, there it is.
There it is, yeah. I love that. I'm excited to keep spending more time down there. It's like so cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
It is so cool.
It's very cute.
Yeah, and I said it earlier. That record label seems like such a good fit for you. Like, I just love everything that Single Lock is doing.
Yeah.
And I love John Paul White. I mean, he also did an Americana video session with us last year.
Yeah.
Such a gentleman.
Yes.
Right? Like, so just the nicest guy.
Yeah.
I think I've ever met.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool. And I just love all the musicians on that label, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. We did this event for South by Southwest it's called the Shake Up at Weather Ups. It was like, that was where I first got to see like Mia Dyson. It was Mia, Nicole, Lyra Lynn, Bella Dare, the Colonel.
Yeah.
Might have been it. But I got to see all those women back to back play, and I'd never heard Mia Dyson before, and she's incredible. She like, her voice reminds me of Bonnie Raitt kind of, and her guitar playing. She's like a badass. She rips it up.
I've heard some of her recordings, but I haven't seen her live.
It's just cool. But that was like, I was like, wow. It was a very exciting day because I just felt so honored to be, even, more than I already did, to be part of that crew. Yeah. But everybody's been so incredible, like so nice. And I like a family vibe.
Yeah, totally. I want to ask you about the album art because I'm a huge Harry fan.
Oh,
he's the best.
Yes.
Right. I have a Harry painting in my house.
Amazing.
Most of my friends, in the second half of my life, my Nashville half of my life, they've all had Harry paintings. His wife is, do you know her? Rebecca. She's a pastry chef.
Yeah.
And she makes...
At City House, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she makes the most amazing cookies. Every time I go to Porter Flea, they have their booth set up.
Yes.
He's selling little paintings, and I always buy like 4 bags of her cookies.
I need to go this year and do that.
They're so good.
We've had several dinners that have... I'm usually not like a dessert. I don't always go for dessert if I'm going out to dinner. Yeah. But I do there.
But at City House,
you got to.
Yeah, you have to try everything there. That's my favorite restaurant in town by far.
Mine too, I think.
They never, there's other places I love, but everything I've ever ordered at City House is just, it's always good.
Yeah. I love that place. But Harry is like...
Yeah, back to Harry.
Yeah. The talented power couple that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Harry, I think I maybe first discovered him at Porter Flea, and I bought this tiny little, like 4
that's
inches by 6 inches.
That's like the one I have.
Yeah.
That's about the same size.
It's...
for the audience, Harry Underwood, Nashville-based painter. Kind of, I don't know, look him up.
It's artbyharry.com.
Yeah. Very like 50s, 60s era motel swimming pool scenery.
Yes.
A lot of ladies by the pool and like old diners and cafes and and also a lot of just random quotes and words.
Thoughts
a lot of
and,
really incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Stylistically, just identifiable like right away.
Right.
You see a Harry, you know that it's his painting.
That it's his.
Yeah.
I like my dream home will have like a giant, like the one at the Belcourt.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever go to the Belcourt, it's the painting between the two bathrooms, I feel like. But yeah, I just love like the snapshot of like human life and then his little thoughts, like suburban, whatever. So
did you approach him about like, can you make something for my, or did you, did he already have this painting and like you?
He did already have it. He was saying he could paint some, he kind of gave me the option, like I can paint something new, or if you want to pick some of these that might work. So he had a painting called Paradise, but my friend Elle worked for him for Elle Long. She worked for him for a long time, and they're good friends. Mm-hmm. And so she took me, I was like, I really want to ask Harry, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, I'll take you out to his house. And I was like, oh, okay. So we went out there, and he lives north of town. He showed me like a ton of his art, and I was too nervous to really ask because I didn't want to be offensive. Like, I don't know. To me, I was like, is it offensive to ask I don't really know about art culture that much. Like, how do I ask, can I use your art for my art? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he showed me, he had done that a couple different times. But anyway, so I emailed him later to ask like, what, let's work this out. And he's just been so great. And the painting, I have like the actual painting in my house now of it.
Oh, cool. It's a great.
Thank you. Great. And yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. It's so cool. When I saw it, I was like, yes.
Yay.
What's next for you? Like I would imagine touring.
Touring, yeah. Right? We've got our
what's coming up? What are you excited about?
Well, next a week from Friday is we're doing 2 nights at the Little Basement. For our Nashville album release shows. Yes. So I'm super excited about that. A bunch of friends are going to come sing. My parents are going to be part of the show a little bit. And got some fun things planned. Larissa Maestro is doing like a score sort of thing with a quartet to start the show.
Oh, wow.
With kind of like motifs from the album.
Cool.
So I'm excited to hear that. And but yeah, I'm just really excited to get out and start playing more.
That's cool. I have kind of these last few questions that I like to ask everyone. They're sort of just dumb questions, but do you have any jokes?
Yes. Well, the only one I have, of course, is
it's kind of dirty,
kind of long.
Okay. Do you want to tell it?
Well, I feel like I probably won't do a good job.
You might botch it.
I might botch it because it's like you got to sneak it. You got to surprise people with it.
Maybe we could try it. And I could edit it to where it sounds like you just nailed it.
Okay. Well, it can't be prefaced with, do you have any jokes, though?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
All right. So I should ask in a different way, or?
I'm trying to think.
Maybe I could say, do you have any good stories?
Yeah. Yeah. You want to do that? We'll try it.
Yeah. I just did it. I'll just take that sample.
Okay. You're like, I just said it. Yeah. So my dad's from Caruthersville, Missouri, which is like they used to call it Little Chicago because it's right on the bank of the Mississippi, a few hours south from. So the mobsters back in the 30s would come down and kind of hide out there. there's all kinds of stuff that went on in Crothersville while my dad was growing up. He was born in the 50s. But anyway, there's this place, like a little clubhouse sort of thing, not quite a country club, but it was called the Neptune. It was just like a lounge. They had a pool and stuff. And there's this rich, like, businessy guy, kind of a, like, dirty business,
Mm-hmm.
guy that would come and hang out down there. And he had this series of, he'd have a wife for a while or a girlfriend, and then he'd get rid of her. He would, like, get tired of her and then whatever. So he had this string of women that he would divorce. And there's this guy named Artie that was kind of like he was just like a giant dude, not super bright. And he kind of looked up to this guy and he hung on his every word. He wanted to be a cool, like, mobster dude like this guy.
Uh-huh.
One day they're sitting in the bar and the guy starts talking. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting tired of this girl that I've been seeing. She's just getting on my nerves. She's getting to be annoying. And they're, like, living together at this point. And Artie says, well, I'll kill her for $1. And he was like, all right, well, let me think about that. That sounds like a pretty good deal. A couple weeks go by. He decides he does want to do that, take him up on that offer. So they formulate this plan that he's going to be gone on business, the rich guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to, make sure the housekeeper's not there. And when the girlfriend's home alone at night, Artie's going to go over and just take care of it,
Right.
know. He goes over there. It's like 9:00 at night. Goes in, lets himself in the back door. He walks into the kitchen, and the housekeeper is there. She comes in, and she's all surprised, and because this giant dude's in the house. So he just strangles her. He panics and just kills her right there. And then, so upstairs, it turns out the girlfriend had another boyfriend that was staying over that night while this man was out of town. So he hears all the commotion, and he comes downstairs, and Artie, sees Artie and freaks out and starts yelling, and Artie kills him. He just strangles him. Well, then, so the girl eventually comes down. Is scared to death, She comes downstairs. He takes care of her. And the next day, the headlines say, "Artichokes 3 for $1." It kind of sucks that you already knew it was a joke, but
Oh man,
is it too long? You can
so
cut
good.
it out.
No, I love the long jokes because the payoff is always so much better, I think. Artichokes. Oh, that's good.
Anyway,
Not where I was expecting it to go. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Give me a couple of your deserted island albums.
Rare Feeling by Twain. I've really loved listening to Hand Habits, her record. There's a song on there called The Actress, but
Hand Habits?
yeah, she plays guitar for Kevin Morby.
Oh, okay.
But her music's really great. I can listen to it 100 times over, not get tired of it. Currently, if I was on a desert island today, that's what I would wish.
You would have those.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a band you listen to that might surprise people? Like something you listen to that people would not expect?
Maybe Run the Jewels.
Okay.
Might be a surprise. I don't know. Maybe not.
Some hip hop.
Some hip hop. Cardi B.
Yeah. She's insane.
Yeah. She is. She's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's good.
That's pretty good.
That's a good question. Yeah. Okay.
And finally, Is there a movie or a TV show that you've been thinking about lately?
I recently watched Alias Grace. It's like this mini series on Netflix.
I'm unfamiliar with it.
It's like a mini series. But it's by the same writer of Handmaid's Tale,
Okay.
which I have not seen yet. So that needs to happen also. But also the show Love on Netflix by Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
It's like Mickey and Gus, and there's only 3 seasons, and it's done, unfortunately. But it's really, really fun. That's been like very fun to watch for the past couple years. Love it.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. I think that about wraps it up.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for
Erin.
listening to my long answers for everything.
That was really awesome.
Another case of if only, and then so quick I'll go crazy for a fantasy man. Put off being true, I knew it all along. You came to me, sweet honey, someone who cares. I was putting on airs. I was. Your attention. If your pride don't drive you right out of town, and you don't wanna keep your head down, well, I guess you better stand up straight and set your intention. Came to me, sweet honey, someone who cares. I was putting on airs. Sweet honey, someone who cares. I was putting on airs. I was.
That was Putting on Airs, the title track from Erin Rae's latest album. I'd like to thank Erin for stopping by and sharing her story with us. To find out more about her, please visit erinraemusic.com and be sure to check out her upcoming tour schedule. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time on Maker's Mic.